everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 42. Hope you guys brought your towels because today we are working on getting a whole bunch of EXP and Wither Skeleton Skulls. So last episode we set up a not horrible looking, I think, but maybe not amazing, little mob farm specifically designed for Wither Skeletons, right? So this one's only going to be Wither Skeletons. I'm going to have another mob farm for probably like normal mobs and maybe another one for passive mobs or something like that. But at least to get started, I wanted to have Wither Skeletons because I want to get Wither Stars and these things. Yeah, Nether Stars. Yeah, I want to get some of that. So the plan for today is to amp up this spawner and get it like super uber powerful so that we get tons of Wither Skeleton Skulls, and in tandem, I want to get tons of experience. So I was toying around a little bit with an experience obelisk here and seeing what we can do with the XP that we're collecting from the mob farm and dumping it into an experience obelisk, and luckily it seems like it works pretty well. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm thinking I'm going to ender tank this. So if we got an ender tank, that's like an ender chest, but like for fluids, right? We should be able to get that. And I'm gonna dye this with some lime dye. So let's get 6 of these bad boys and get these placed in the world. And we're gonna color code these. Is it shift click? Yeah, it's shift click. So lime is the color I usually associate with experience. So just like with regular ender chests from the ender chest mod, you can color code your tanks, and there's 3 colors, right, that you can apply using any of the Minecraft colors. So there's a big variety of color codes you can go with. So I'm using code 555 or lime, and that's going to be what we do for experience, right? So I'm going to take all this experience out of the... Is this where I want to put this guy, or do I want to move him elsewhere? We might wind up moving him later. But for now, what I'll do is stick with this. So like, let's put this here. Okay, so I'm gonna have you, and I'm gonna have a tank here. And then I'm thinking I wouldn't mind some conduits. Let's get like the good fluid conduits. So ender fluid conduits, that could be cool, right? Ender fluid conduits. So for that, we're going to need probably some fused quartz, right? Where's like properly just basic fused quartz? There you are. Yeah, you're gonna be that. So let's do this real quick. I need to get this added to our thing, right? So fused quartz will be this, and that's gonna go into the alloy smeltery, okay? And then we should have no problem doing conduits and saying I would like some ender fluid conduits. Maybe I'll just add them to the autocrafter. Does that sound doable? I don't see why not. I think that sounds like a plan. So I can be like, hey, give me 10 of those. Boom. And since it makes, what, 8 at a time, we should wind up getting 2 sets or 16, right? So it's making the vibrant alloys, it's making the fused quartz, and then it's going to combine it all together to get 16 ender fluid conduits, which my understanding is they're just a little bit better and faster for the most part than the other kinds. And there's the color-coded channel thing too, which is nice. So on the down, we'll do always active. And then on the up, you can be insert, but not extract. So with that configuration right there, you're basically piping out of your ender tank, right? And into your experience obelisk. And that should be pretty cool. Yes, is good. We like. Hope so, because that's what we're getting. So right now, if I store all that experience, we can see how many millibuckets we have, and I'm just going to note that for later. That's how much we have, 556, 620. And then over here, I guess I'll sleep through the night real quick, just to be safe. We don't want mobs showing up over there. Let's zippity-doo-dah over to here, and now we can start collecting stuff. So 2 things I'm going to want to do. I'm thinking we're going to want to change this thing up. I kind of like always want this to run. And I might want to move this thing so that the redstone signal is not affecting it. Is there any reason I can't... I could just move this up a level, right? Let's just do that. That should be nice and simple, right? So show area, I think it's north. Nope. It's that direction that I want to move it, so that it'll vacuum up any items and experience in that area, right? And that should be cool. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, and then what I'm thinking is we should have it basically dump into an ender tank and an ender chest. That seem appropriate? I think so. I don't know where all this leather that I'm putting stuff in. I can only assume it's from all the llamas that I've killed over the series. But every time I go to craft one of these, I'm like, when am I going to run out of leather? I don't actually know the answer to that. Very rude, sir. Recording here, trying to discuss things, and you're just being rude. Okay, so we'll plop the ender chest on that side. We'll plop the ender tank on that side. And then for you, I'm pretty sure that's north. So fluids will go to the north and see how that connects. So that means on the south, we're going to want items to go. So basically, any item that I drop in the world. So for example, I'm going to go drop this guy, right? I'm going to drop this thing. He should get vacuumed up. He landed inside the absorption hopper and then was pushed into the ender chest, which was then sucked into the A system. So if we take a look, we should see that basic fluid tank is now in our A system, right? So before we turn this on here, actually, I'm going to set that to none for a sec. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing run for a moment. So turn him on, and let's start talking about spawn delays and stuff, right? So gassed tiers will increase the number of entities that are allowed nearby. That's not a bad one. We might get to that. Fermented spider eyes, that's going to increase the number of entities spawned at once. So I definitely want some of those if I can. And let's turn off our magnet for a sec and like let this and this and this all drop. And it should wind up inside the thing, right? So fermented spider eyes will probably be a good one to get. So we'll start with 10. So when you're mousing over it, you'll see like what the spawn count is. So it's 4, now it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? All the way up. And if you check here, it should tell you on the thing, the modifier can go up to 16. So we're at 14, so we're going to want 2 more, and that's going to max it out, right? Look at the size of this spawner. Raise the spawn count of the spawner to 16. That's the cap. We got an achievement for doing that, right? So that's cool. So spider eyes are done. Wool would be a nice one to apply, because all that does is make it so that it's silent. So now the mobs that spawn there are going to be nice and quiet. I might want the chorus fruit, because that'll give them no AI. And that, see how nice and quiet they are? Oh, I love so much quietness. You can't even hear them. Quiet is good. Dyer likes quiet things. Hey, look, like, I'm recording for you guys, so I don't want, like, I get annoyed by repeated noises. I can only assume that you guys also get annoyed by repeated noises. So I don't want you guys to be like, yeah, it's really annoying whenever Dyer goes near his mob spawner because I hear all these annoying noises. Silence is golden, right? So no AI is going to be nice because remember... last episode, the skeletons kept trying to walk towards me. Now they shouldn't anymore because they're not going to have any AI. They're going to be dumb. Also, that's probably really good for server tick rate because AI, like mob AI, is a big impactor to server tick rate because like the server has to calculate what the mobs all want to do. So if you remove their AI, that's less work for the server to do, and that's pretty cool. Gas tiers is going to be a good one. That's going to increase the number of max entities. I'm going to hold off on that one, but sugar should be nice. That will reduce the minimum spawn delay, the minimum number of ticks between spawns. That can't go below 20. So let's get some sugar. I'm just going to get a stack and just zoop, zoop, zoop. So see it at the top there shrinking down? Right? So now the fastest this can be is once every 20 ticks. So once a second it can spawn mobs. The max spawn delay is 80. So what's that? Is that, or 800. So that's 40 seconds, right, between spawn delays. And we can modify the max spawn delay with clocks, okay? So if we get a bunch of clocks, let's get like 20 of them. Does that sound cool? Now that one's going to be really expensive to reduce, obviously. So we're going to need like many more. Cooking. That's 300. What's your best bet there? It can't go any lower than 20 as well. Holy cow, we need a lot of gold. If we want this to be like stupid fast, to kind of do, right? We want it to be just running out of gold here, right? So now the max spawn delay is going to be somewhere around 20. So that's like, you know, the fastest we can get. So like every second we should be spawning just a ton of mobs now, right? So you can see every second it's running. Told you it was going to be fast, right? I don't know why you're stuck, buddy, but you'll eventually make your way over there. Sweet. Okay, that's cool. Now I can turn you off. Dude, it's like so quiet, it's almost creepy how quiet it is. Now look at all this loot that we got. Sweet. So I'm going to make sure that I have in my inventory one of each stack type, right? Did I miss anything here? And white bones. So these 5 drops are the drops that we're getting from this mob farm. So now if I set this to items to the south, each one of these items will flow into here, and then they'll be sucked into the A system, right? And that's pretty cool. All right, see all the wither skeleton skulls and bones showing up in there? Beautiful. And coal, by the way. So let's pop home and see what that's all about, right? So coal, we have a nice setup here, but we should make sure that we have void upgrades at the ready. So get me like 10 of those. Thanks, Chief. The nice thing is now, like, because we've automated so many things, we can just be like, yeah, give me a bunch. I don't need to worry about how much I really need, right? So plenty of coal being stored here. Let's add a spot here. So we've already got a spot for bones, and they're already being voided. So that's good, right? Let's get wither bones, right, and wither skeleton skulls. I'm going to take you out of there. And then red heart containers that I might want to have. So that's everything, right? Bones are already there. Coal is already there. So I really only need to add wither bones and wither skulls. So I want to have a lot of them. So I'm going to add that to a drawer that's going to have a lot, like an upgrade or 2 in it. So let's do you and you and you. But then we're going to get from the functional storage mod. Do I want to get like just a copper upgrade? Does that sound cool? That'll get me up to like 4,000 storage. Now, if I made another one of those, that would also be cool, right? And now you're going to let me hold like 32,000 wither skeleton skulls before we start voiding them? That sounds good to me. Okay. And then the red bobbly heart containers we'll just throw into this guy who also has a void upgrade already. So that will go up to 512 and that'll be good enough, right? So now we put this stuff away. And now if we go turn on our mob farm, we'll know that we're not going to overflow our drives here, right, with items. We can see that we're already kind of high. So granite and andesite and diorite and dirt. Are these things not in drawers, or are they in drawers with more storage in them? They might not be in drawers. That's fair. So maybe I should add them to a 4 drawer because they're cool. So here's what I'm going to do, right? Granite, diorite, andesite, and dirt. Perfect. Perfect, right? So boop, 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 and boop, right? So if we do that, and I'm going to make sure you get a void upgrade, and you can also have a copper functional storage upgrade guy too, right? So that'll let you be 4096 now. Okay. So now if we come up here, I'm just going to do this real quick, right? You're at 55,000 bytes used. I'm going to pop you out, pop you in there. Sweet. I like how fast the I/O drive is in Applied Energistics. It's super good, right? Now we look over here, we're at 34,000 bytes. So a lot of storage was being used up for all that granite, andesite, diorite, and dirt. Now they're all in drawers. So A, we're not using up the storage in the disk, and B, we're capping out at 4096, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. I like it. And most of the other stuff that we have in here should be in drawers. And as we go through, if we run into items that wind up not being... Like, raw copper is a big one for me. I just haven't set up processing yet, and I need to do that. Once I do, we'll burn through all that copper, and the processed copper will wind up going into a drawer, and that should be fine, right? Okay. So if we pop over to here now, and we turn off this area thing, Good, and I can sleep through the night now. So the only other upgrades we're going to want is the Nether Star upgrade, which will let this spawner run when a player is not nearby. But we obviously need Nether Stars for that. And the gas tier upgrade will allow the spawner to increase the number of entities that are allowed nearby. So what that means is, like, when we spawn, currently we can have 6 entities nearby, and the spawner will stop spawning more mobs. Like, it won't make any more than 6 at a time. So as soon as we hit 6, we're capped out. It won't make more, right? So we're done, right? We have 6, we're done, right? We killed a couple more spawn. At most, we'll ever have 6 mobs here. If we throw gas tiers on this thing, we will be able to have more, right? So I throw a few gas tiers on there. I don't know what the max is, but now we can have up to 16, right? The max is 32, actually. That's pretty ridiculous, right? So see how many more mobs are here? Like, that's what we're looking at. I don't know that we need it to be that crazy, especially because we're pushing them back to the back of the room like that. Now, in addition to this, we should be getting lots of experience fluid going in here. Actually, almost more than we can handle, which is very funny to me. We might need to not use conduits. And wow, we are not going to be able to keep. Look how much. It's too much of I told you this was going to be ridiculous. Didn't I say the word ridiculous a lot last episode? I'm saying it again, and like that's what it is, right? It's very much ridiculous. Okay, that is what I'm talking about. The word ridiculous comes into play here. We can't keep up with either the number of items that we're getting or the amount of fluid that we're getting. And we can see that because, yeah, that's on it. So we're going to need to, like, item conduit this with speed upgrades, aren't we? I'm thinking we are, right? We need something that can handle stacks at a time. And the first thing that comes to my mind, only because it's the mod that I wrote, is Laser IO. So card holder, good to go. We're gonna say, like, so first off, how many Wither Skeleton Skulls do I have? 306, right? We ran that for like a minute and we got like 200 Wither Skeleton Skulls. It's a little insane. I promised ridiculous, and I'm hoping that you guys feel like I delivered. Also, we now have 101 levels of experience, which, remember, like, every level of experience costs more experience. So, like, 101 levels is a lot, right? If I, yeah. What was I at before? I was at like 95-ish. I was about here. So that's 44 experience levels, right? That, yeah, it's a silly amount. So I think you need to actually be cool. And then let's get ready to place this back. But I think you need to be a fluid conduit. So like on the down, you're gonna extract and we'll speed upgrade this, so you can do like 8 buckets a tick. I probably don't need that much. It probably doesn't need to be that much, right? In fact, 8 buckets is a lot. So let's make it like, if I did this. And by the way, like, even though it lets you stay at 8,000, right? As soon as you go back out and go back in, it's gonna cap it out, right? So 4 buckets a second, that should be sufficient. When you can, you should try not to do everything every tick, right? Because the action of extracting fluids is a process that the server has to run. So if you're making the server do it every tick when you don't really need to, you're putting undue strain on the server. If you're in a single player world, not a big deal. If you're playing on a server with a lot of friends, you want to think about these things. Like, the more frequently an action is occurring, the more strain it's putting on a server. And if like 30 people are playing on a server and they're all doing bad, like, once per tick things, it's gonna impact them. So just think about that stuff as you're playing with your friends, right? And then on the up, we'll do an insert. And that should be cool, right? Down, extract, up, insert, call it a day. And then we're probably, instead of you being right here, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you off, and we'll throw a node here, because the slowdown here is not, we definitely can extract from the ender chest fast enough, because we did that for our big frame machine. What we want to do here is remove from the absorption hopper fast enough, right? So on this side, you're going to be, I need more item cards. How about 20 this time? That sounds like a good number. Sounds like a super good number. Sweet. Okay. So on this side, you will be an item card. Do I still have my card cloner? Yeah. Boom. And now you're extracting 64 items a tick. This one I probably should do every tick because we're getting lots of items. So this one does want to be per tick because we wind up getting like 3 or 4 stacks at a time. Not stacks of items, but 3 or 4 different items all at once when we kill a wither skeleton. So if we don't do every tick, it's not going to be fast enough. So we do want this to be 64 items a tick. The number here doesn't affect, like, whether you're doing 1 item or 64 items, doesn't matter. It's the frequency that matters for server performance, right? And then over here will be an insert. Cool. So now let's go turn this bad boy back on and make sure our magnet's off, and now we're cool, right? So now we should be getting... See how, like, it's not even registering here? Like, it's just super fast, right? And we can see all the wither skeleton skull things are happening. So, like, the instant it shows up in there, it doesn't even register. You can see the particles, right? You can see the particles flowing, you know, out of the hopper into the ender chest. So you know it's working, right? And we can see it landing in the system there. We're going to be at 4,000 wither skulls in, like, 5 minutes? Told you it would be shenanigans. Just look at it go. There's like a backlog of wither skeletons ready to be killed. So good. All right, so that's cool, right? That's pretty spiffy. I like that. I call that a win. Right, so we're done. Wither skeleton spawner is good to go. And I can just leave this door open, by the way. I don't see any reason to close it. Should we close it? I don't think it matters, right? We could throw glass on there, like some clear glass maybe. A dire glass viewer from Zycraft, that works. It's rare that I'm gonna have to get in there. If I do, I'll just have to probably break the glass, go in, and then, you know, but that should be fine, right? And now just turn you off when we're done. And that just, again, having an on-off switch for something like this is just nice. Like, we don't need this running 24/7, right? Like, your job is to make me a bunch of wither skeleton skulls. Once I have enough wither skeleton skulls, I can turn you off and, again, save server performance. So now let's think about wither spawner itself. Cool. All right, so I'm showing you guys something interesting here. So all the mobs are spawning. I move back here. The mobs are spawning. I move a little further back. The mobs are no longer spawning. Remember we mentioned that in order for mobs to not need a player nearby, you attach another star to this thing. That's the thing, right? So this far away, and mobs don't spawn. So I'm on my base, there's no mob spawning. I'm like, at my wool farm, the mobs are not spawning. I get a little closer, they do. So this is the distance at which there needs to be a player near the spawner before it starts spawning mobs, right? So just keep that in mind. That said, I stood here for like 10 minutes and I've got over 4,000 wither skeleton skulls. So we're probably pretty good. Yeah, like we're good. We're good. Also, I'll note that we have like 158 levels of experience at this point. So like stupid levels of experience. I can extract like 100 levels and like it barely scratches the. Because remember, like different levels or different amounts of experience. It's a very large amount of experience that we have right now. So that's cool. With that said, let's get a wither spawn thing. Now I've done many different wither spawner processes in the past. I haven't entirely decided how I'm going to do this one. Options. Let's review them real quick. RF tools, shields. Shields are cool. I really like shields. I should use them more because they're neat. You can do a bunch of cool stuff with them. But I generally just use them to trap a wither and kill it. Like, that's all I ever use shields for, and I really should do more, because you can make them, like, transparent for certain mobs. Like, you make it so, like, players can walk through and mobs can't. You can, like, make it so mobs get hurt by them. You can set up all kinds of cool, neat things with shields from RF tools. I really, really, really should do more of them, but I don't. So that's one option, right? Like, we can build, like, a little shield cage. I'm guessing there's some blocks that are wither resistant. There's dark connected glass from Cyclic, which is immune to light explosions and wither blasts. Okay, and that is just amethyst shards and glass. So if you've got amethyst going, you can get that, right? So that's an option. There's also tinted glass blocks designed to prevent light, tough enough to withstand withers from mob grinding utils. So glass plus coal or charcoal, that's an option as well. Or what we could do is a hyperbox, right? Like we could literally just throw together a hyperbox real quick, and we could have the wither in there. And that way you know that there's no chance of your wither escaping. Oh, it's a thunderstorm, is it? There's no chance of your wither escaping and blowing up your base by mistake. So that's, you know, kind of an option. I assume that a hyperbox can contain a wither. Should we try that? Let's try a hyperbox. I've been doing a lot with hyperboxes this season, but they're just there. It's nice when you're like, there's like, I want to have like a little spot to do something, and I kind of don't want to build a room for it. Like, it's a pre-built room. It's pretty nice. So I don't think there's any reason that I can't just like do this and then do like, well, but wither. That's right. Something is like really stealing the letter I. So whenever I hit I, it's like, what options, controls, keybinds, key, I. Open and close accessories inventory. We'll get rid of that. Is that one that's stealing the letter I? Extra tooltip info from modular routers. It's probably not that. Let's see if that helps. Hey, now I can type it. So is that Aether one? Yeah. So there we go. Witherdim is what we'll call you. Save and enter. Sweet. So I should have no problem making a wither in here, right? So we'll get some soul sand. We'll get some wither skeleton skulls. And how am I for surviving a wither right now? Probably not great. I might be okay. Like, I'm not enchanted at all. How bad of an idea do you think it'll be to try this? Like, if I ate some... Are we cool? And then, like, maybe get out my bow for maybe the initial fight, you know, until he becomes no longer... All right, I don't want to do that. All right, how about here? We'll start building. We'll see what happens. This is probably a bad idea. I'm really not wearing the best armor for surviving a wither right here, right? If I'm, like, way up here, will I survive this? I don't even know. I might die from the initial explosion. That would probably be bad, right? Don't die. Oh no, I survived. Alright. Now is he... Nope, he is not trapped by my snaring approach. Eat that. I should be pretty well protected by the food that I'm eating, right? That should be good. But he is 100% immune to the snare spell. So that's... Oh boy, never mind. I'm not protected. I'm not protected at all. That's why we did that in that place there. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. Hopefully I can like sneak in there. Let's see if I can sneak in there. Or even is... Oh, there it is. It's way up there. Why was I all the way at the top of the ceiling? That was a bad place to be. That was definitely a bad place to be. Alright, that might take a few attempts. I thought I was doing okay, and then I was no longer doing okay. I thought I was alright. I was like, yeah, no, this is going good. I'm not taking any damage. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. Yep, that's going to take more than one attempt to try and get that going. So yeah, let me come back in a sec once I manage to potentially get my gear back. It'll take a few tries, but I'll get it. I will get it. I'll try one more time on camera, I guess. Yeah, so close, so close. Yeah, those explodey bombs hurt. I wonder if I could do like a potion of invisibility or something, and that would be a sneaky way to do it. Is there like any kind of invisibility? That's going to need quite a few iterations, but I could probably do it. I have a brewing stand, don't I? If I don't immediately, I can get one real quick. I could probably pull this off. Right? Invisibility. Does that work? Like even, I don't even know. So carrot, wart, and fermented spider eye. Golden carrot. Wart. And then we're going to want a bottle. I'm just going to try this for fun. Right? I don't know if this will work. And I don't have my tick accelerator, unfortunately, so we're going to have to just deal. Cool. I'll be back in a minute when this is all done. All right, here goes nothing. We're going to drink our invisibility potion, see if we can sneak in there and get my loots back. Oh, sweet. I'm getting wither roses from this. Nice. You can't see me, wither. Wahahaha. Hey, now we're cooking. All right, you go away. Let's re-equip all this stuff. Re-equip all this stuff. Ah, now he sees me. Get out of here before I die again. I have to reorder my inventory, otherwise I get very lost on things. Things need to be in the right place for me, or I don't do well with it. Okay, cool. And then you. That should be cool. So yeah, I thought you gave me as synesthesia. I thought I got like regen and stuff. Alright, wither. I have to start over with you? That's not cool. I guess there's like, it's not smart to fly. I'm gonna consume this food super fast. And just keep a closer eye on my health this time. I think I should be good now, right? Yay! I did it. I did it! Alright, so that's clearly not how I'm going to automate these things. In the future, what we're going to have is some kind of automation. I'm thinking in this room? I have to figure out what I want that to be, though, exactly. Because I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what I want the automation to be. Alright, so you move here, grid. We got some wither roses, which is nice, right? That's cool. Wither roses can do cool things. But we got our yellow, and we got our yellow heart. We got our nether star. Wow, that's nether star number 1. I'm going to call that a win. Now what we have to do is think about how we're going to automate, if it's going to be in that dimension or not, how we're going to automate things. Cool? Because we want to automate the spawning of the wither and automate the killing of the wither. Something we've done many a time. Ideally, I'd like to do it in a way that's interesting and relatively new to you guys, but we'll figure that out. However, I do think it is probably about wrapping up point for this episode, so let's do that. Let's wrap up here, come back next time, and be ready to have more fun automating and killing withers. Cool? For now, Double20 sign off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.